The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We pick things up with higher territory right now. Amazon, it's their turn for a $38 billion deal with OpenAI. Boy, you talk about Amazon pushing this market. We were already higher. Let's zoom in on a 5-minute. We pushed those highs in the last few minutes, and Amazon spikes the market. We're up by 27 points in the S&Ps, up by 0.4%, just above 6,900. NASDAQ 100, there's your acceleration. How about right back to the highs of Friday morning, right? We back up and get to a high Friday morning, 26,274. You just hit a high of 26,259. So within about 15 points, you see the overnight action. We open higher than futures Sunday night. We pull back a bit. And then since about 3 a.m. this morning, you have the NASDAQ 100 up by 0.8%. The Dow in negative territory, off by 21 points. The Russell off by 3. Bitcoin off $1,500, trading off 1.3% right now at 108,000. You have Ethereum off 3.7%, off $146, 37.61. Crude up 11 pennies at 61.09. We jump over to yields. Gold in positive territory yet again. Yields, lower price, higher yield right now. You got the 10-year at 4.11. Okay, 4.11, the yield in the 10-year, 4.11. You jump over the dollar. Look at this dollar. Within a couple pennies of 100. And since that September Fed meeting, folks, there it is. Dollar continues to show strength since the lows of the Fed meeting in September. It's been a one-way trip. Higher highs, higher lows. And we're coming into where we were in August. The high there, 100.257, and we're basically just under 100 right now at 99.46. Now, even with a stronger dollar, gold not slowing down, up by $31 on the session. You see the volatility on Friday. We close it out near 4,011. We're trading at $4,027 for gold. You jump over to silver, up 29 pennies at 48.45. All right, and yeah, we got some action, man. So where do we kick things off? Let's do it with Amazon. So Amazon, huge week last week with their earnings delivering Thursday night into Friday. And we're going to push those highs yet again this morning. You're up another $11 from where we were on Thursday. You're now trading from 222 to 260. Okay, the entire move that was priced in on their earnings was about $10. You're up $35 from that point. You're up $256 from $244. So Amazon pushing this market higher right now. And you jump over to the news. $38 billion computing deal with Amazon. Partnering with that cloud leader for the first time. Whew. OpenAI signed the deal and will immediately start accessing NVIDIA's graphics GPUs. Yeah, it's one of the biggest moves away from Microsoft, which was the company's exclusive cloud provider until earlier this year. Now they have the flexibility to scale infrastructure through 2026 and beyond. Yeah. Under the agreement, OpenAI is going to immediately begin running workloads on AWS immediately, right? So it's completely separate capacity that we're putting down. This is the VP of AWS. Some of that capacity is already available, and OpenAI is making use of it. It's coming right now, man. Boy, you talk about scale. $1.4 trillion worth of build-out agreements is what OpenAI has done with NVIDIA, Broadcom, Oracle, Google. I saw an interview of Sam Altman over the weekend, and one of the questions posed was, You guys are doing about $13 billion in annual revenue, and you're signing deals to spend $1.4 trillion. And Mr. Altman took issue with that question and with the basis of it, saying they were taking in more money than that, and that the value was there, and that he would buy those shares that the question asker had. As part of the deal, OpenAI is a customer of AWS. They've committed to buying compute capacity from us, and we're charging an OpenAI for that capacity. It's very straightforward. For AWS, it probably is a little bit more straightforward. But for OpenAI, it's a little bit of a different story. Nonetheless, you jump over to NVIDIA shares. As the U.S. approves the chip sale to the UAE under the Microsoft deal, Microsoft's license enabled the firm to ship NVIDIA chips involving its more advanced GB300 GPUs to the UAE. Jump over to NVIDIA shares this morning. They're up by $5. I mean, realistically, folks, this market could be up a lot more. Okay, now Microsoft is lower because guess what? They're losing a customer. Okay, it's going to Amazon. Microsoft's lower. You were dropped about $10 on that news right now. But when you have Amazon up $12, you got NVIDIA back above $5 trillion. I mean, that $5 move in NVIDIA, folks, is $125 billion in market cap added. NVIDIA is skyrocketing. Amazon is skyrocketing. The market could be up more than that. As in NASDAQ, we're up by 214 points, but you get the Dow flat. S&P's up by less than 0.5% right now. And yeah, chips. The license enabled the firm to ship the equivalent of 60,400 additional A100 chips. So it marches on. Another Monday of news. Speaking of news, in the gold sector. So, Coeur d'Alene, formerly, or Core Mining, as known now, is going to acquire New Gold for $7 billion in an all-stock deal. Now, I've said this before, folks. Immediately, now this is not just, but it's something I always keep in mind, and it's a good first glimpse when you ever hear something, right? If it's an all-stock deal, if it was the greatest deal ever, they'd pay for it in cash, right? Because you don't want to share the future benefit of the greatest deal ever. If it's not the greatest deal ever, you don't mind sharing the future profits with the company you're taking over, and then you do it in an all-stock deal. Super generalization, okay? They might not have the capacity, the cash to do it in cash, but nonetheless, it's an all-stock deal, okay? And yeah, $7 billion, and the number they're getting here, investors are going to get about half a share of Core, which is CDE, is their symbol. We'll pull it up, with about $3.50 or something like that I saw in there on another article. And NGD's been one of the strongest ones out there. We jumped to Coeur d'Alene, which is CDE. They're paying up, dropping $2. You're going to be down, what, 12, 13% right now on the open on Coeur d'Alene. We take a look at this thing longer term. It's been quite a ramp up. But just like that, folks, we go from $23 down to 15. It's a 30% plus hit for Coeur d'Alene. On the flip side of that, New Gold. There's your action on New Gold, although look at that. All right, not sure what the give back is just yet, but we got action in tech, we got action in gold. S&P's up by 27. We'll come right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. NASDAQ right now up 217 points. Amazon. Going to be interesting to see how we open here. We're pushing 257. We're up by $13. And yeah, jumping into this deal yet again. So $38 billion is the deal that they signed with OpenAI and Amazon out right at 9 o'clock this morning. I mean, you talk about some marketing, man. Just waiting to drop this thing at 9 o'clock. Gangbuster earnings. I mean, they don't even talk about this, right? They have earnings on Thursday night. And over the weekend, boom. It's like, yep, we're doing almost $40 billion. And guess what? $40 billion, folks, it is nothing compared to what OpenAI is spending when you talk about the $300 billion deal with Oracle, $250 billion of commitments to Microsoft. But as it mentions, the first key step in Amazon's effort to ensure that its cloud benefits from those trillions of dollars that are being spent by OpenAI. Yeah. And all of that computing power is going to be available by the end of next year. Yeah, so this part, right, in terms of the data center that they just built for Anthropic, among Amazon's largest projects, $11 billion data center. Amazon is Anthropic's main cloud provider. It expects the startup to become a core AI customer for years to come. It's invested $8 billion into the company. Anthropic is also a large customer of Amazon's AI chip, Trainium. But Anthropic agreed to use up to 1 million of Google's AI chips as part of a multi-billion-dollar deal announced last month. That raising questions from industry analysts about whether the startup was shifting some new workloads away from Amazon. They're all going to want to diversify. Okay, the last thing you want is being beholden to any one company when you're doing this type of business. But yeah, just between the three alone, and Amazon's $38 billion, it's really Oracle and Microsoft, right? $600 billion in new cloud commitments. And that's worth $13 billion. Imagine this company's got $13 billion in revenue, and they're out there signing contracts to pay $600 billion. If you're at the other end of that $600 billion, you better make sure that OpenAI has the money to pay you. That's the risk in all this circulatory funding. Nonetheless, the market going to digest some big numbers yet again, man. Quite a 1-2 punch from earnings for Amazon. Nvidia up by $5. Microsoft on the flip side of that. But look at Microsoft. You're flat. How does this make sense? Okay, these are some of the risks in the market, folks. Amazon just signed a deal with OpenAI for the first time ever. That customer is doing hundreds of billions of dollars of business with Microsoft, and Microsoft is flat right now. It's actually in the green, right? If I told you that Amazon's going to ink their first deal with OpenAI over the weekend, hey, you got a lot going on, because then you have Microsoft out there that they're going to be able to sell NVIDIA chips to the UAE, which we talked about, okay? So it's left and right to keep track of it all. But yeah, we talked about this one. Approval to ship NVIDIA chips to the UAE and will boost its investment there. 2 wins through the Middle East. All right, we jump around to some of the other cloud players. You jump over to Oracle shares. Pretty remarkable that, again, they are flat. Okay, Oracle, $250 billion deal with OpenAI. Microsoft, 300, or the other way around. Oracle, $300 billion with OpenAI. Microsoft, $250 billion of commitments with OpenAI. And now you see Amazon sneak into the door with a $38 billion commitment. There's going to be pressure for that number to rise for Amazon. Google shares in the positive by about $1 this morning. All right. And if you didn't have enough going on, Kenvue, the maker of Tylenol, yeah, they're getting taken out. Kimberly-Clark, $48.7 billion deal, maybe seizing on a little bit of the volatility surrounding Tylenol. Seems like they were already looking for this. Now, Kimberly-Clark. All right, what is this? KMB. Check this one out, okay? Yeah, they dropped from 120 down to 103. They're paying almost $50 billion. Look at this chart. Now, you're going to open at 100, okay? We put this thing on a longer-term chart. We're opening right here, folks. We're opening at prices Kimberly-Clark was trading at in 2013, okay? They were searching. You got selling even September 15th. You break below kind of this low of their earnings of July. You break below the beginning of the year. You do it with volume. Quite a head fake last week. You get some earnings. You get it to the upside, and then boom, they're spending all the money, and you're dropping by almost, 13% on the open. You jump over to Kenvue, the embattled maker of Tylenol, down from $24 to $14.37, and you jump over to that deal. $48.7 billion deal. Annual revenues of the combined companies, $32 billion. Yeah. Huggies, Kleenex, Band-Aids, and Tylenol, of course. Kenvue spun out of J&J in May 2023, and yeah, since then, down 35% since the IPO. Jump over to another consumer staples, Procter & Gamble, flat this morning. Now this one's something to watch as you broke out of that channel, right? Can make the case that this thing started in 2018, a series of higher highs, higher lows, and boy, you broke decisively out of that area, folks, in June. So if you're in Procter & Gamble, pick a spot on this equity, because that's not a break you want to see. That was a pretty well-defined channel, all the way going back to whether it was the lows of 18, the high side of that almost starting in 2015, matching up pretty well all the way until you break below it. All right, and then you jump to Beyond Meat. You want to see this long-term chart? Ba-boom. $200 down to $1.66. And you know what's remarkable, folks, is I remember being on the air when this thing had its first run, okay? And I remember thinking and doing the comparisons about the size of this company, okay? It's now at a $611 million company, and they're delaying their financial results, folks, okay? You're going to be down another 8-9% on the open on this one. Stay away from this equity, okay? They're going to now report earnings after the market closes on November 11th. Delay their results because it needs more time to calculate the material non-cash impairment charge related to certain long-lived assets, accounting problems, okay? Whew. Now, this has been a meme equity. How's that for some volatility? Okay, but we're opening at 150. Beyond Meat, we'll take a look. We were looking at Tyson Chicken, the comparison. Quite a run. We're coming back for the opening bell, folks. Tech Stocks in Focus. We're coming right back.
Getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got equities open. You got NASDAQ 100. Remarkably, we're not even at all-time highs. I say it as it seems like it's a perfect storm of higher prices this morning. You have Microsoft pulling back a bit, but even Microsoft with their deal with NVIDIA chips, pretty remarkable that you open in the green when Amazon inks their first deal ever with OpenAI. Microsoft up by 0.5%. Amazon, all-time highs, up another 5%. up $12 to 256. We jump over to Apple shares, off 0.2%. NVIDIA shares up another 3.2% on the open. Man, that's $160 billion in market cap, right with NVIDIA right there. Remarkable. Jump over to the VIX this morning. Get the volatility index backing off a bit. VIX right now flat. This is an elevated VIX for where we are in the market, folks. You got the S&Ps up by 30 points. Okay, S&Ps up by 30 points. Look at the elevated VIX we had all pre-market. Why has the VIX been elevated? Okay, we got higher prices in this market. S&Ps, we opened higher Sunday night. You traded higher. You did have a pullback. That pullback was only 25 points overnight. And guess what? By the time you made the open, we're higher. Tech stocks in focus, man. We'll see how Amazon, NVIDIA, up by 3.2, powering it higher. And even Microsoft doing well, up by 0.7%. News for everybody this morning. You jump over to Kenvue, getting bought by 48. Ooh, a little bit of a big give back there. We're up to 1750 pre-market, outside of that one spike. You're backing off a bit to 1654. So Kenvue is going to get $3.50 a share. So that's where the 350 was. It wasn't the new old one. Forgive me. Kenvue is going to get $3.50 a share and then 0.14625 of Kimberly. It works out to about $21 a share. That's a 46% premium. Well, pay attention. If they're talking about a $21 share and this thing's only at $16.50, that deal's not done just yet. And 21 brings it right back to before the Tylenol saga. Look at that. Just wishing they were back to before then. All right, we jump back to Beyond. Yeah, down another 10%. So it was remarkable, folks, because I remember. Let's see, does that bring us all the way back? No, it doesn't. So 2019 and 2021, and it was 2019. It was this initial run when they went IPO, and the thing went from $45 up to $239. Okay, this is a company with 400 million shares outstanding. So 400 million times the 239, put it at $100 billion company at its peak high. Okay. Tyson Foods is an $18 billion company. In 2019, they were on quite a run. Okay, they were up to 85. Where's 2019? Forgive me. Yeah, right here. Almost 90, almost double what they were right now, right? So there was a period of time where Tyson Foods was valued at about $40 billion, and you had Beyond Meat getting valued at a higher mark, $50, $60 billion. And from a pure capital expenditure build-out, the distribution network this equity had versus Beyond, let alone the fact that that's, fake meat was going to take over the world. I tried it, folks. I just didn't like it. And this is from somebody that in 2019, I actually went vegan for 30 days. Probably a good thing to give your body a break. I love red meat, folks. Everything in moderation, okay? And same thing with veganism. There's a lot of nutrients, okay, that whether you're talking about fish is very healthy, lean, proteins, very healthy, everything in moderation. Even vegan, you're going to need some areas of fat that might not be in vegetables, some areas of protein that might not be iron in red meat, etc. But yeah, even back then, it made no sense, and here we are, and you got Beyond Meat. It's just one of those, the more you live through and have experience, folks, you see stuff like this, you see the euphoria. Now, every so often it plays out, all right? But they had to grow their business into a 60, 70, 80, 90, almost $100 billion market capitalization business, and you were back up here again in 2021 when the market ran higher. Yeah, and now you're basically at nothing. All right, market fading a bit. You got the S&Ps up 20 points. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 209. Amazon's not fading, though. We're pushing 258 right now. There it is. NVIDIA up 2.5. Microsoft up a full percentage point. We check in the leaders. Google shares flat right now. And yeah, so you have Coeur d'Alene. They're buying New Gold. Coeur d'Alene down about 10%. You jump over to New Gold. It's a $7 billion deal. And what's going on here, man? All the way back. No love at all. This thing's been on quite a run. From a buck at the beginning of this run to $7.43 right now. You're up by 1%. Oh, we covered that one. And over the weekend, yeah, I was posting about this in the Tiger's Den. China ends tax break for retailers. So China ended a long-standing tax rebate for some retailers in a change that could weigh on demand. Yeah, the new policy allows companies producing non-investment gold to offset only 6% of the value-added tax, down from 13% previously, which could weigh on demand in one of the world's largest precious metals markets. Likely to see the entire industry raise prices to pass through the cost pressure. Well, you raise those prices, you're going to get decreased demand. But guess what? Gold holding up oh so well. There it is. 6% is what they can offset now, down from 13%. And yeah, so that's it's just going to straight out raise the cost, folks, so you better believe it. It's a tax incentive that's taken away, and that's going to hurt demand in gold, but not today. Gold's continuing to hold up well right now. You know, something to keep your eye on is that, let me see where we have it up. So you're talking about OpenAI and $1.3 trillion. And they got like 5 years to make it happen in terms of getting the revenue. They can support their money they're spending. One of the new beneficiaries, Amazon, this morning. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming back. Take a look at some equities. Gold up by $23. S&P's up by 16. We're coming right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks, and we got a little bit of selling in this market, and we are now well below where we were when they made that Amazon deal public. There was your 9 a.m. announcement. You have the NASDAQ 100 at 26,188. You make it all the way to 26,266, and we're backing off. Still up by 160 points, up by 0.6%. But boy, if it wasn't for Amazon and NVIDIA right now, Amazon up 5%, NVIDIA up 3%, Microsoft up by 1%. Because, yeah, look at, well, that's the Dow. All right, Dow's off 105 points. The NASDAQ 100, Micron. Okay, Micron. You got ARM Holdings higher as well. Tech stocks, of course. Amazon, bright green. Palantir up by 2.1% right now. AppLovin up by 1.5%. Jump over to the S&P 500. There's a lot of red in the small stocks, and you got green in the big stocks as usual, right? I mean, look, you got Amazon, of course, NVIDIA, Micron, Palantir, Microsoft. Look at Palantir pushing a $500 billion market cap. Amazing. We didn't have a $1 trillion company until 2018, and Palantir is half of that, just like that. But yeah, look at financials, industrials, energy, utilities, real estate, materials, staples, healthcare. The chips are all stacked on tech stocks. And that might be the best thing for the market, okay? But a hyper centralized risk portfolio is evidence when you see, this type of move. You didn't have the type of moves that we had going on with Amazon and NVIDIA. What happens if we didn't get the deal with Amazon, NVIDIA, and Microsoft, okay, over the weekend? As in, Microsoft gets to sell NVIDIA chips to the UAE, and Amazon gets to benefit from OpenAI spending $38 billion. Well, deals matter, but you can't say, well, what if we didn't get that deal? It's a business deal. It matters, okay? The Microsoft-NVIDIA deal matters for sure, and the Amazon and OpenAI deal matters for sure as well. But the Amazon and the OpenAI deal, Amazon, you better believe it matters, okay? Can you imagine being in the Amazon AWS Cloud Suite and saying, come on, man, why don't we have any piece of the compute power of OpenAI? Well, now they do. But when you jump around to the other side of that conversation and you talk about, this money's going to have to come from somewhere. And the flurry of deals that you're seeing play out is real. Okay, this company is going to be providing services for everybody. Now, I say this company, it's going to be Anthropic. It's going to be all the companies, but they're going to be a big one. All right, they're going to try and push a $1 trillion public IPO, by next year? Okay, they need more money. And he wants to spend $1 trillion a year in infrastructure. $1 trillion a year, right? They've committed to $1.4 trillion on infrastructure so far. That's 30 gigawatts of data center capacity. 30 gigawatts. To spend that much, OpenAI will have to generate far more revenue. Okay, now they're going to get corporate revenue and retail revenue, but it's a big number, man. And at some point, the companies that are getting all the, is it going to be the IPO that funds this? So they're going to dilute shares and go to the public, and it'll be the public that's pushing it out in years 2 and 3, where they're not quite at revenue. If that's what plays out, it is a risk, folks. And the people who are on the back end of all that, they're intertwined. Not a bad day for Oracle when you think that they got a $300 billion deal, and now you got Amazon knocking on their block, but Oracle down by about 0.9% right now. All right, we check back in on yields. So one of the other things coming down the pipeline this week is we have the Supreme Court case with the tariffs, okay? So this is likely to come down on Wednesday. Let me pull this up. Trump is not going to show up in the courtroom. Probably a correct statistical play for his own benefit, just even talking about game theory, right? If he shows up, it's almost more difficult if the judges are worried about the appearances. And, you can say you're not, but you always are. And that's what you could say. I don't have a conflict of interest, but it's always there, right? The context of everything is always there. And this one seems like it's going to be a close one. We'll see if this is an emergency power to regulate trade. And they have more cases, of course, coming down the line, okay? The Constitution gives Congress the power to impose taxes. But the 1977 law gave him the power to impose tariffs unilaterally during emergencies. Now, every political person can't stand when a politician uses an emergency for something they disagree with, and they love when they do it for something they agree with. That's generally a problem, okay, in a longer-term perspective. He's used the statute to announce tariffs on goods imported into the U.S. from China, Canada, Mexico, saying the levies were a punishment for failing to stop fentanyl. Well, drugs can be a problem. Could they be an emergency? We're going to find out if it actually equals that. Again, relied on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act when he announced tariffs on the 100 trading partners. The 1977 statute gives the president certain tools to, quote-unquote, deal with any unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the U.S. That includes the power to regulate imports. But the law does not mention the word tariffs, taxes, or duties. If the word regulate meant tax, the small businesses told the court, this is the small businesses repping their side, the president could tax everything from autos to zoos. Pretty sure that's the case if he wins. Okay? You have the Treasury Secretary saying out here, the more deals we've done, the more money coming in, it gets harder and harder for the Supreme Court to rule against us. I'd push back on that and saying this is a longer-term perspective, okay? And we'll see how it plays out. But this is Wednesday. So in terms of the market, get ready for some volatility, folks, okay? And yeah, it's a real deal. Do you want the justices second-guessing what a quote-unquote emergency is? The bummer of it is that if this is an emergency, basically anything is an emergency, right? Because the next president, if they disagree with it, they could come in and say that in their judgment, these tariffs are an emergency the way that they're hurting the economy. In the same way that Trump says that it would be an emergency if they're not allowed. And if that's what they give them the right to, that's how back and forth it would be. And I think on a longer term basis, that could have some real harsh impacts when you think about the ability for those to move unilaterally on a 4-year basis. Overnight, everything would change and have nothing to do with Congress, right? Imagine that. Everything would change and have nothing to do with Congress overnight every time we change a president. Every single tax structure of every import and even every export could change. But Wednesday, get ready for it. And sometimes you get a real indication right away from those arguments. NASDAQ up 132. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. It's quite a sell-off, and it's not stopping just yet. You put things on a 1-minute chart, and yeah, we'll just keep going, man. S&Ps right now, you open at 69.10. Boom. That was a quick 33 points. We're still positive by 3. NASDAQ 100, we open at a price point of 26,266, and you're off about 125 points. Dow rolling over, off 210. That's a minute chart. Put it back to a 15-minute. We're pushing the lows of Friday on the Dow, and you got the Russell off by 0.7% right now. And yeah, you talk about some of those numbers. So this is just another anecdotal article, okay, talking about OpenAI. And one of the things, okay, the information reported in September, talking about the spending, right? 30 gigawatts, or 26 is what they have here. They're probably up to 30, okay? It costs $50 billion on hardware, infrastructure, construction to bring 1 gigawatt of compute online. If you're at 26, you're at $1.3 trillion by 2030. Now check this out. He has said internally, Sam Altman, 250 gigawatts by 2033. That would be $12.5 trillion they need to spend in 8 years. $12.5 trillion in 8 years, okay? I think the total revenue for the S&P 500 on a yearly basis, I was just Googling it during the break, is like $17 trillion. Yeah. Citi estimates the company's revenue will climb to $163 billion by 2030. That's when they need $1.3 trillion. So yeah, they'll push it out to the public, and they'll find a way. But the market pushing back a bit. We got NASDAQ 100 making lows. Get those spikes up, folks. We got the VIX, 1808. S&Ps are positive. VIX is elevated. NASDAQ up 133. Amazon, the big winner today, up by 4.5% on their numbers. Microsoft in the green as well, up 0.9%. Apple trading lower, off 1.1%. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. We got our man Steve Rhodes at 11 o'clock with the Trader's Edge. Fast Market at 12. Larry Pesavento at 1 o'clock, and I'll see you at 3, folks. Have a great Monday, everybody.